Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel, Greg's Restorations. Here we are today with this 2008 Toyota FJ Cruiser that we just did a full frame-off restoration on. You're thinking, how do you do a full frame-off restoration on a 2008 FJ Cruiser? It's a modern vehicle. Well, this is a 2008 Toyota FJ Cruiser. This vehicle came into our shop as a small project and turned into a much larger project, as all these vehicles do. This vehicle came in just for some minor rust repair, and then the project snowballed. We ended up actually pulling the body off the frame and doing a full frame-off restoration. It's kind of crazy. When I started this trade, I never thought we'd be restoring 90s or 2000s vehicles, and this is a 2008 that we did a full frame-off restoration on. Really cool. There's a lot of retro styling to the FJ40s, and that's what we mostly do. We specialize in doing 70s and 80s Land Cruisers, a lot of the FJ40s. So these trucks are pretty cool. When I got my Land Cruiser in 2005, these were a prototype and coming on the market in late 2006. I remember when they came out with a concept vehicle in 2003, I believe. I believe it was for the Chicago Auto Show. It was like a blue concept vehicle. It was a neat truck. It had some kind of cool styling. Kind of looked like a Moon Rover with these weird tires they had on it. But I always liked the Land Cruisers when I was younger, and then this came out as a retro vehicle with the FJ40 styling. So this vehicle came in for just minor rust repair on the frame. We were supposed to just wire wheel, sandblast some areas, and do some light mechanical work, and the project just kind of snowballed into this full frame-off restoration. As you can see, underside of this truck, we've done so much restoration. Some of the stuff even looks better than factory. Done everything from replace the factory exhaust system with a brand new stainless system from the dealer, all the way from the manifolds back. We had to replace, it has, I believe, 4 catalytic converters. We redid those with all brand new O2 sensors. Came all the way back with a brand new stainless muffler. We've also done upgrades under here, such as doing new stainless brake lines. We've restored the fuel tank system. We've restored the drive shafts. We actually had to replace the rear axle assembly because it was actually rusting through. These FJ Cruisers had a very bad rust problem. I don't believe there was a frame recall done on these. I know like some of the Tacomas and the Sequoias had frame recalls, but I don't believe the FJ Cruiser ever made it. So that was one of the reasons why we kind of took the project to the next level, because the owner bought this vehicle new and didn't want to ever have to replace it again. He drove it as like a new car would. He stored it in his garage, and then it kind of just sat in a kind of a carriage house, and it had a lot of moisture and it had a mice problem. So the mice kind of got to this vehicle in the engine bay and some of the stuff underside. As you know, mice urine is very corrosive, so it made everything really rust, on top of these vehicles having a rust issue. So we separated the body from the frame, sandblasted and painted the whole chassis, all suspension components. We also prepped and painted the whole underside of the vehicle. We had it on a rotisserie and did a lot of mechanical maintenance under here as well. What I like about this truck on the lift is you can see the level of detail we went to for this vehicle. Not a lot of people are going to put this amount of time and effort into a late model vehicle, but it's a classic. They were a very limited production run. They did from late 2007 all the way to 2014, and then the vehicle was discontinued in the United States. They're definitely unique. They got a lot of blind spots when you're driving them. I've always wanted one. I've never owned one myself, but you know, if I came up on a deal some point, I would love to have one. Another thing we did on this is we did some upgraded Bilstein shocks, front and rear, as well as doing the factory stainless lines. Another upgrade we did on this vehicle is we did some oversized BF Goodrich all-terrain KO3s. They are a 265 70R17. Just a nice look, gives it kind of that aggressive stance. We did not put a lift kit in this, but at least we gave it a good sized tire. This vehicle is virtually 100% OEM. We didn't do any major upgrades. We even restored the factory side steps on it. So pretty cool. When we had the vehicle disassembled, we ended up pulling the engine out and doing a full service on that, as well as the transmission. As you can see, it's all brand new. We did all the gaskets, all the seals, water pump, alternator, all the service in the engine bay as possible. Restored the engine bay as well. There was a lot of rust in there from mice damage, so we sanded, sandblasted, and repaired the whole engine bay to new. All brand new weather stripping throughout the truck. There's not much that we haven't done on this. The only thing that we didn't really do is paint half the body, because it's such a new vehicle that the paint was so nice. It just had some stone chips from driving it on the front end. Another cool thing that this truck has is it has a factory brush guard with some OEM fog lights on it from the dealer. We restored the whole front bumper. We painted all the factory ends because they were all kind of chipped up from driving. When we had all the plastic moldings off the truck, because we had to fix rust underneath on things, we did plastic restore from Cerakote on all of those components. Put a new windshield in it. We fixed any rust around the windshield. Also pulled the interior out of the truck and demoused it. There was a lot of mice in the dash, up in the HVAC system. So when you turn the truck on, you could smell mice. It was kind of gross. So another thing we're gonna do for this owner is we're gonna put a mouse blocker in it, because we're gonna try to keep the mice out of it as long as we can. This is one of the firsts for us. We've never done a full restoration on an FJ Cruiser before. We've done service work and a little bit of paint work, but we've never gone through one of these to the level that we did. One of the things that you'll see is a lot of other shops, they bring these trucks in for rust repair, and they just wire wheel and just undercoat the whole underside of the truck. This truck, you can see, is everything is restored to factory spec, and it has a level of detail. We've even gone to the point of repairing and conditioning all the factory heat shields. We have so much time in just doing little detail stuff like that, and the work on this thing is endless. I would say we have about 1,000 hours into restoring this car, which is pretty cool. One of the hardest parts of this project for me was getting the color match on the nose of this. We had to do some paint restoration on the front of this vehicle, and we had an issue with getting our factory paint to match our paint. So we had to do 7 different spray outs to get an exact paint match for our liking. As you know, we do a lot of in-depth restorations here, and our level of detail is high. So we wanted to get this thing as close as possible because we weren't painting the whole vehicle. The vehicle came in about a year ago. We started on it, and it took us about a year project for us. It's about standard. So our next stage is going to get it off the lift and take it for a ride and show you guys how it drives. So we're out driving the FJ Cruiser now. This thing drives like brand new. I mean, because it is brand new. Today we're gonna go to one of our special spots in New England to do some photo shoots with it. But I just wanted to touch on some of the cool features of the inside of this truck. One of the cool things I like is it's got 3 wiper blades. So it's kind of got a unique short and wide windshield. Also, you've got this 3-pod dash cluster on top of the dash. It reminds me of the mid-80s Toyota 4Runners had something similar. It's got a compass, it's got a load leveler, and it's got an outside temp reading. The owner of this vehicle took extremely good care of this. It's still got the factory radio in it. There's no paint scratched off anything. It looks like it just came off the showroom floor. The blind spots. It is a unique vehicle to drive. You're going down the road, it's fine, but if you've got a parallel park or back up, it's kind of a little tricky. In the later model years, they put I believe in 2009, they put a rear view camera in the mirror. So these vehicles came with a 4.0 liter 1GR FE V6. This engine had about 239 horsepower from 2007 to 2009. And then in 2010, they did some upgrades on the engine, and that engine has 260 horsepower. Could have got a 6-speed manual or a 5-speed automatic, just like this has. This has an automatic transmission. They had a few different model options as well. This is the base model, and then they had a TRD Special Edition. They also had a ARB Edition FJ Crawler. It was kind of cool. It had some off-road bumpers on it. It had a little higher stance. It had some different wheel packages, some emblems, and then they also had the very popular Trail Teams model. This being an earlier model, they're not as desirable, but this vehicle is super sentimental to the customer, and that's what we mostly do at our shop. Is we restore vehicles that mean something to somebody. Like I said before, this vehicle was purchased brand new by the original owner. So he's going to have this vehicle until he dies, and then he's going to pass it on to his children. So we're super excited to be sending this vehicle home, and stay tuned for the next restoration.